It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I actually love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
All right, what's up, everybody? I am so excited to be here tonight. I was here for the pre-show with Abe, who is also back with us tonight for the after show. And I'm so excited to talk about this episode. Abe, how's it going in the past hour and a half? Anything changed?
Yes, a couple of people I don't care for right now.
Okay, I cannot wait to talk to you about that. I know you had some opinions in the pre-show too that you were feeling some type of way about. So we can talk about that some more too if you need to get it off your chest. Like, we're definitely here to listen. And then we're also here with Josh. Josh, how's it going?
We're doing pretty good. Pretty good. There was more to talk about this episode than the premiere. I think we got to get to know each tribe and a lot of the people a little bit more. So, even though the result may have been a little bit more predictable, what we could have guessed going into this episode, I think that they still gave us some stuff. So I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll definitely talk more about that. But I definitely agree. Like, I was maybe a little bit thrown off. Not so much. I mean, I still kind of thought like who was going home was going to go home. But, I think they did a nice job, like you said, putting some extra stuff in there. So that's always nice. It's good to not have it be too straightforward. But let's get into it. So we get back from, it wasn't, I don't think, like right after Tribal Council, like the first time we saw Blue Tribe. Kele, I still don't really know how to say it, but I might go back and forth between those two.
I still just use the colors.
Yeah, honestly, that's so I'm gonna kind of mostly do that, I think, too. But I don't think this is right after they got back from Tribal, but like maybe the next morning or something like that. They were talking a little bit, and they said like, "What do we think Nicole said on her way out?" and stuff like that. We didn't really get a whole lot from Blue like during that moment, but then we get Annie talking about how she's the puppet master. I don't know who wants to go first on this question, but my question to all of you is, did that give it away kind of like right away in the episode, how she's talking about how she's controlling the tribe?
I do feel like they use that sort of content to set people up a lot, to be like, oh yeah, look at them. They think they're controlling everything, but they are about to get voted off. Yeah. I'm not as used to it from Annie's archetype though, because I think they made it so clear last time that, that she's on the outs, and it was, Jeremiah said at the last Tribal Council, okay, it's between these two people and she got a vote. So clearly, like, I don't know how she didn't put two and two together there, right. But usually you expect that from like maybe more like a young, like arrogant bro, like that sort of setup, like, oh, I'm controlling everything, haha, we got you. But yeah, I wouldn't expect it from her archetype as much, but looking back, I'm like, okay, I can see why they did that.
Yeah, I saw that bus coming. I was like, oh, she about to get on the bus. Because we talked about it in the pre-show. It's like you were number 2 on the vote out, the first vote out. So really nobody ever stepped up to take that place. And who I was shocked with was Alex. Because Alex said, I was looking for you to play with. And I think Alex is going to kind of regret that a little bit down the road, because he's in a no-win situation. Because if this tribe loses again, you already got one person saying, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be the one that's going to target. So who do you target? The fourth person? And then it's like, well, I got my immunity idol. So, we'll talk about that. I don't know. I think this tribe is going an odd way. And this episode here kind of showed that they still haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward, because they obviously stuck with the core 4, the main 4-person alliance, and they ultimately got rid of Annie, even though some people were, especially Alex, but a couple people were talking to her. I mean, it seems like, she was trying to form some relationships and things like that. They ultimately got rid of her. And whenever you're left with like your core alliance and you lose again, that's where things get interesting. So I am kind of excited going forward. Not that I want them to lose another immunity challenge.
Oh, definitely not.
That, yeah. Because, I mean, a big thing for me is like, especially in this new era where there's only 6 people to begin with, I feel like whenever the tribe is a disaster tribe, like we just see that tribe so much and the other tribes so little. And I just don't need that. I don't need another disaster tribe. So I'm hoping for that not to happen as well.
Let me point out the future Survivor players. One, there was not one time we looked for worms. Not once. Did we even think? We didn't think about it. We wasn't looking for them. I don't know which one on the islands. So when you go to Fiji, there's Fiji's made of 150 different islands. So I'm pretty sure Survivor has the main 3 islands that we all go on. Because I always see my island doing one of the tribes, doing one of the interviews. So, but no, we never thought about no worms, and we definitely as a tribe didn't think about eating no worms. So I'm like, I don't know what y'all doing.
Yeah, on Tyson's podcast, which I've listened to, I used to listen to it a lot more than I do now, but I'll still listen to it from time to time. And I remember him saying one time, like, that he felt like eating worms, like, burns more calories than you're actually taking in, because you have to dig up the worm. You're like squirming around trying to eat the worm. And then what do you get out of it? Like a few calories at best, because you're probably not eating the whole thing even. Yeah, there's no way I'm eating worms out there. Like, there's got to be some better options.
Yeah, I feel like it's other people have talked about this, or maybe we've even talked about this, that you just have to eat so many worms to make it worth it. And just eating like 3 worms, like there's no, maybe they have some nutritional value, but that's not really going to do anything.
They eat dirt. I mean, they're earthworms. It's no nutritional value for you. If anything, it's nutritional sickness.
Exactly.
Then you got the Kumbaya tribe trying to pray over a crab. You better go out there and find you some more crabs. Now, here's what I will let you know on my island. I can't speak for the other 2 islands. Rock crabs are everywhere. So you could find a rock crab, which will provide you more meat in their legs than a worm would, and doesn't need any fishing gear. You just got to catch them. So I'm not really, and they were inland. So even if you were looking in the rocks, they were there. But I don't understand that worm thing. I'm like, man, we need no worms.
Yeah, not for me. It's not for me.
No.
Sure.
Not for me either. That
Because Annie was like, we can bond over misery. No, not that kind of misery. Hey, Tori, remember we was talking about what we would talk about? We won't be talking about that. We won't be talking about Tori eat the worm. I'm gonna eat the worm. No, I'm not eating nothing.
No, I don't need that conversation. I don't need that experience. No. I'm just skipping it altogether. That's me.
See, Josh, we know where our cutoff point's at.
Oh, sorry. Did you have something to?
No, I was telling Josh. Me and Tori said we could talk about anything, but we know our cutoffs. Worms is it.
No, that's a no for us. Like anything else, let's go. But that's where we draw the line.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it either.
It's not happening.
Clearly, I mean, I think Jeremiah was doing it more for the novelty of it, which, hey, there's a lot of, he's not the first one. I'm sure he won't be the last that, people feel like, oh, I'm really on Survivor, that I'm out here eating bugs, eating worms.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I mean, I do think that that's definitely like people do it for like the shock value. Like,
yeah.
Cameras on me. Like, let me just get a couple minutes of screen time doing this like crazy thing. Yeah, you're probably right. That's like most of it. It's not really about like getting food actually. But yeah, gotta show like all the efforts you're going to get the food in the first place.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not doing it.
No. But you mentioned the Kumbaya tribe, Abe. And I did want to touch on that because Josh, I actually thought of Panama because I heard, I thought specifically of the turtle and Courtney kneeling down next to the dead turtle.
Yep.
And for those that don't know, Josh and I did a couple rewatch Patreons over the summer, and Panama was one of them.
Ooh, nice.
Did this come to mind for you, John?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I think as soon as you hear Shannon talk, in her interviews, and then you watch her on the show, it's just like, okay, she's definitely in that Courtney Merritt archetype. Yeah. And they've cast a lot of people in that archetype over the years. I think Courtney is like the pinnacle of it. And so I think anytime they cast someone like that, it's like, okay, is this person going to be kind of a bust, or do they have actually that Courtney Merritt upside? And so Courtney is always going to be the yardstick by which I measure people like Shannon. And yeah, that is totally something, not even something that Courtney would do. That's something she did do with the turtle. Just immediately, it was like day 1, day 2, something like that. And she's like, paying homage to this dead turtle, and everyone else just kind of has to roll with it. I just can't imagine holding hands around. Yeah, just saying this vague prayer.
I know Nate is struggling. Like, what are they doing? I'm like, throw some hot water. Let's get this started. We hungry. Um, I know you have to try to blend in and try not to ruffle any feathers, and it's just one of them things. There's a lot to be learned from each other when you take away everything else. No phone, no TV, no distractions. You're kind of stuck with your own devices, and I'm like, hey, y'all got hot water yet? Y'all need to hit that hot water. And then we see, I don't know how Jawan got put on the outs. I think that was more so for Savannah. Just Savannah said, I'm running the tribe. And put little Jawan out there in the corner. I'm like, hey, how you gonna put baby in the corner? What's going on here? And Jawan is out there on that corner, like, I don't know what he gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we kind of talked about this in the pre-show, Abe, but it definitely seemed like Nate was just quietly getting into like the main alliances, like good graces on that tribe, and it really was kind of like between Jawan and Nate for which was unfortunate for Jawan.
Yeah.
But do we think that he won back? So I guess let's back up a second. Obviously we get some stuff from Yellow too, which we can talk about in a bit, but I do want to like maybe fast forward a little bit for a sec to this reward challenge that, so like 3 players got a chance to go on a journey, and Jawan ends up winning reward. Do we think that got him back in the good graces of his tribe? Do you think he won any brownie points? Let's just talk about that challenge too, like in general.
Ooh, hold on. Is Yellow as tight as we think they are?
I don't know.
Because even though Matt went to the challenge, they got a little bit of cracks in their thing already, with MC saying, hey Matt, and you know what? I think they're right. You being picked number 4th for a little group, that's a sign. So it's like 3 other people in here that, oh wait a minute, we number 4, and then we get Matt, and Matt was like, hey, I'm going to win a challenge because he wants to play the game. Everybody gives a speech out, I'm here to play the game, and we get Matt. But I think Yellow, when they lose, it's gonna be some destruction over there.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, I definitely think Matt could have worded that better. Like, instead of saying like, you're our 4th pick to be in this like special group that we were just talking about. Yeah, that would probably rub me the wrong way a little bit too. I do like Matt. Like, I don't know what it is, but I mean, part of it's because he's on my fantasy team, but even outside of that, like, I kind of just, I like to root for the older person. I kind of like the guy. I don't know why, but so I didn't want to like think of Matt as making like a blunder, but I definitely think that was a bit of a misstep in like explaining it the way that he did. He could have maybe gone about it differently. That wouldn't have like raised any concern for MC, I think. But yeah,
I think they're a good tribe. I mean, they're definitely a competitive tribe. But Matt, sometimes you got to sit back and let somebody else do the driving. He was already good. It was like, hey, you could have worded it better, saying, hey, MC, we're trying to put together a group that we think can work together, and I'm not sure about everybody yet, but we like to include you in that group. That way you're not putting somebody in that awkward position of, hey, we already had 3 and you number 4. I'm like, well, I want to be number 4. I want to be number 2.
yeah,
or number 1, but
or equal, yeah.
yeah, we got a plan to make it to merge or something. I'm like, I'm with that, but I think Matt either he's gonna have to clean that up, or he probably will never have. During the pre-show, we was like, yeah, Matt and MC could make a good team. It's looking kind of bleak right now. It's looking kind of bad.
Hey, I mean, you never know what can happen, but yeah, that definitely may have hurt his chances of getting in with her. You never know. Like, maybe they'll still make that 4-person thing work, but it seems like MC is trying to make some other stuff work. So we're gonna see what she comes up with. But anyway, yeah. So I know that I kind of like fast forward into like talking about that reward, but it all stemmed from Jawan. So
Yeah.
like, I'm wondering like, did the reward challenge and how he came back with like the tribe advantage, did that help him? And if you want to say anything else about the challenge, go for it.
I think he did. Well, first of all, I liked the challenge. I thought it was way more interesting than a lot of the journey challenges have been in a long time, maybe ever. But yeah, it was really interesting. And because it's like skill, but also there's some strategic elements of like, who do you gang up on? Do you like pile all your coconuts on one person or split it up? I was really surprised to see Jawan win that one. But good for him. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you got to take the steal a vote. But I mean, if you're on the outs, a steal a vote actually doesn't, or that's an extra vote for him. It's an extra vote for him, a -1 vote for Matt or Jake. But an extra vote in when you're in the minority like doesn't do as much as maybe like a steal a vote does on a 5-person tribe. Yeah. So even if he were to clock like, oh, they're the majority and then Sage and I are on the outs, they're still outnumbered 4-3. But then by giving a disadvantage to the other tribe, that makes their tribe way more likely to win and then not even need an advantage because he's not going to go to tribal council. And honestly, people like him a lot of times, if you're on the outs, like we've seen time and time again, like even in the new era, that all you need is like time. You know, so like that happened right there, that bought him at least 3 more days because it was day 4. And then even if they were losing the next one to go to tribal council on day 7, it bought him 3 more days. And that's huge because he just probably gives him more time to either for cracks to form in the majority alliance or for him to like work his way in or like, you know, one more challenge closer towards a merge or a swap. Yeah, I think it was definitely the right call.
I think we forgot about player number 7. Called petty ass. That's player number 7. That's that pettiness that comes up when you don't eat. That's that pettiness comes up when you don't get a good night's sleep and you trying to figure out how to put your face in that mask so that because you saw them ants. Oh, that was me. You saw them ants and stuff. You was like, I don't want to crawl in my ear. So I think Savannah is that. I think she's showing that she wants to run the game, but I'm with you, Josh. You go, you win an advantage. You had an opportunity to lie and take the steal a vote, which mathematically speaking wouldn't have done you any good, but I still would have took it. And come back and say, you know what? I'm gonna help my tribe. Now we're gonna see where that might not have been the best thing for him if he makes the merge, but right now he did something for the tribe to try to, you know, hey, I want to make sure the tribe is safe. And then you had Jake saying he was just gonna run it through it. Oh, I'm gonna take everybody out. It's funny when they be narrating. I wonder how they narrate what they're gonna say during the challenge. But you're right. It's one of those better challenges where you have to make a decision and be accurate. And I thought it was a fun challenge. And I like the fact once you won the challenge, you still had to go through another part of it. So it wasn't like, oh, okay, you win the challenge, then you win whatever. But then you get a chance to go through another part. So I kind of like the way they set it up. I like the fact that producers, I'm gonna give y'all credit where credit is due. I like when y'all think outside the box and create something new. So I like that challenge. I'm with you on that, Josh.
I also think one more thing to add on why it's a good call for Jawan is like so often you go on a journey and you either have to like reveal your cards and show like, oh, I actually got an extra vote, or oh, I actually lost my vote. And then we saw last season how that was like a really tricky spot for, people like Justin or Bianca, like how much information they chose to reveal or not reveal could like get them in trouble. And so either you have to do that, you have to think up a lie, or, and you always question like, okay, are they going to believe me? Can you prove it? But this time he came back, he chose a team option, he could prove it. So then they had no reason to have any doubt or suspicion on him, which, if he's already like feeling a little bit on the outs, like being able to, I don't know, come back with receipts on something that is like clears him and also benefits the tribe. I think it worked out really well in his favor.
Absolutely. I actually wrote that down too, Josh. So I'm glad you brought that up about how he actually showed his tribe, like, this is what this says, this is what I have. And I don't know what the advantage or the disadvantage is going to be. But I just think, it was getting a little old having like a person come back from a journey and then like they either have to make up a story or tell the truth. But either way, the entire tribe is like trying to figure out for the longest time, like, were they telling the truth? And that just like wasn't interesting anymore. It's like, okay, maybe that was cool for like a couple seasons, but let's just make it clear so that we can take our gameplay elsewhere. You know what I mean? So
I think we forgot about it. I think for Tori, I'm right. With the first part, I like the twist. Now you get to, and then he comes back, he reveals that, and we don't see it anymore, and you forget about it, which I think is I think the way it played out was fabulous because when it came back up, it was a home run hit.
Absolutely, it was. Well, and I was kind of thinking, I was like, the only way that this could be a disadvantage to Juwan is later on down the road if he joins up with people from Yellow, either in a tribe swap or at the merge. They're remembering him as the guy that put 20 extra pounds on their back. But the way that it worked out actually couldn't have been more perfect for Juwan because now he can say, like, okay, my main focus, first of all, was getting in the good graces of my tribe because I was finding that maybe I was on the bottom and I wanted to help them out. The second thing is that he could tell Yellow, like, he could boost their ego and be like, I knew you guys could still do this challenge with 20 extra pounds on their back and that Blue was probably still going to lose, which is what happened. You know what I mean? So it's like, I
didn't see that coming.
making it harder, but that's how I needed to go.
I didn't see that coming. I'm like, okay, so we get to the challenge. And I'm like, and Jeff says, hey, who won it? Okay, well, now Juwan, you won it. He said, well, now let me tell you what's the impact. And all players got to wear 20 pounds of coconuts. You know how much 20 pounds of coconut is in the hot sun? Oh, I was like, ooh, Jeff, y'all getting a little brutal.
When you're like running through obstacles and having to climb up a ladder, I thought it was going to be, when I first heard it, I thought it was going to have to be even when they climb up the wall. I didn't realize that they got to take it off before they got to climb up the wall.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous.
I thought, like, man, wearing that when you're climbing up the wall, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, even when you crossed the ladder bridge, depending on your height, as we saw, some people got hurt. But then at the end of that, you had 10 locks versus 1 lock where everybody else had. So I like the layered in the challenge to the actual what happened and what you get out the challenge. That's a game changer because now he could have went with Blue. He could have went ahead and devastated Blue and says, hey, Blue, go ahead and take this. We're going to go ahead and knock y'all on out. But he looked at Yellow and Yellow was like, okay, but anybody playing the game of Survivor, even if it was Yellow that had to do the decision, you're going to make a decision. So nobody's going to be happy, but their tribe should be happy. So even with the 20 pounds, Red was still looking kind of questionable.
Yeah, they really were. They were last place. Well,
For a long time.
Yellow got up the ladder or like the ramp thing before Red, right? Or was it?
They could. I don't know who dug. I don't know if they throwing that ladder with a backhoe device and digging holes deep or something. But I don't think them ladders are the same level on the ground. I don't know what they're doing because Blue was smoking it.
Yeah.
Red was still trying to find it, and Yellow got theirs. And then they caught up. Red caught up with Yellow at the rope untie deal.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. I had just backed up a little bit from one last thing about the reward challenge. Somebody had said, I'll put it back up really quick, that they were glad that the votes were not lost. And I could not have been happier about that because I feel like that's one of my least favorite like disadvantages or advantages, whatever you want to call it, in Survivor in the new era or any era. Like, let the players keep their votes. That's my only concern. So I was glad to see that was not lost.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was the option to lose it, but I think that was I think it was better. It was better than how it worked out in a lot of the prior ones, where it was like, okay, it wasn't automatic, it wasn't a game of chance. Right. They did kind of, and it was a toss up of who could do it or if it would even happen. So ultimately, that was another reason I was glad that Juwan took the team advantage or the tribe advantage because, yeah, no more lost votes, especially as a small tribe.
Here's my first disappointment of the evening. Alex, and future players.
Wait, what'd you say, Abe?
Alex and future players.
Alex and future players, what?
Stop telling everybody.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. I feel like Alex didn't really have a choice. Like Jake knew because he found the little like letter thing with Jake.
He didn't know until Jake didn't know until Alex say, "Oh man, look what I found. You should have stepped on that clue and stuck it in your sock."
True. Okay, you're right. He could have definitely found a way, we think. But I don't know. I kind of felt for him. And like, there's so many times that I've watched New Era seasons and I'm like, why are you telling everybody things? But some things really are so hard to keep hidden. I mean, what comes to mind first is like those ones, I think maybe 47 was one of the ones where this happened. And Sue had to like get some stuff all over her. I can't remember exactly. I think it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
paint.
It was a red paint. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the red paint.
Then like 9 episodes later, they was like, "Oh, what about that red paint?" I was like, "Y'all late."
Yeah, like I mean, there's definitely things that she could have said to play it better if we're thinking back to that season. But there's like, it's so hard to lie about certain things. Like you can try as hard as you can, or I can say like all day, like I would never tell anybody. But sometimes it's just like not really as possible as we think. But I mean, obviously I've never been out there, so there's probably something that you can say, right?
Yeah, I mean, and especially when you have to carry around a literal ball and chains too. Like I think they're making it harder to be subtle,
Right.
which whatever. I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but I think for the player, it is a lot easier said than done in a situation like that to be like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. When really, like, I don't know, because you only have so much time. You need to find it.
You literally went from Jake knowing to Sophie knowing to Juwan knowing. I mean, it was like, why don't you just tell Annie too? Just tell everybody. Well, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Everybody on the tribe knew. But
yeah.
Oh,
Sophie is my best player of the episode.
Oh man, I was rooting for her so hard when she was just like, "Oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. I want to snatch this for myself." I wanted her to get that so bad. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm rooting for Alex too. Like I like both of them, so I was kind of like, if either of them finds it, it's totally cool. But I loved how she was doing that. Like I'm like, give us more like villain behavior. Like
yes.
I was so here for that.
See, like, I mean, this is skipping ahead a little bit, but like Sophie is like far and away my favorite from this tribe so far. And so even though Annie going home was maybe the more like boring outcome, I was like definitely rooting for her to go home because I'm like, hey, we cannot lose Sophie second. Yeah. There's no way.
I was rooting for Sophie to go home. I was like, blindside. Well, here's the thing about it is, Alex is presenting to Annie that they're going to work together. In actuality, they weren't going to work together. But here's the thing. Sophie plays, and I'm like, okay, that's what Survivor's about. If you can cover this up, get that key, and get the immunity out of, because here's the thing again. Everybody now knows on that tribe that Alex has a hidden immunity out. Everybody knows.
Yeah, I was kind of laughing too because at Tribal, Alex was like, "Oh, I don't know if anybody found it. If they do, I'm not aware." I'm like,
what? Everybody knows.
Every single person knows. They either saw you find it or you told Annie. I mean, he was obviously saying that because the rest of the tribe didn't know that he told Annie. But I was like, Alex, bro, everybody knows.
That was a good blindside. That was a good blindside because definitely didn't see that one coming. Because I was like, okay, we might be having some gameplay early. Granted that I would have said it was too early to blind somebody with 5, because that still doesn't leave you in a good spot. And their troubles got to do more so with they don't know how to do a puzzle. But
that was really, I mean, going back to the puzzle, like that was bad. That was really, I mean, I always, if a tribe loses in the first episode, I'm going to be rooting for them to win the second episode because I want to see more tribes go to tribal council. I want to see more of these dynamics in a 3-tribe season. I think having one tribe lose 3 times in a row is kind of like worst case scenario from like an entertainment, like season, like story development point of view. So I was rooting for blue hardcore. I didn't really care who lost between red and yellow, and seeing them with a huge lead and then blow it on the puzzle, like so bad, so bad. That was tough to watch.
You only saw what the edits allow us to see, but what's funny is I think it's a 2-sided puzzle.
Yeah, which is hard. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the puzzle looked easy and the pieces are heavy, blah blah blah. Like
pieces heavy.
It's hard. I'm sure it's harder than it looks. I know it's harder than it looks.
But again, gotta be a side. You gotta be a sideline coach on this one. They literally just gave up. They didn't put pieces. No piece matched. They were first, and no piece matched. Now I could see if you had a couple of pieces, you couldn't figure out which way you wanted to put them at. Sophie would have went home behind the puzzle because no piece matched, and you volunteered to do the puzzle. So I'm like, you didn't put not one piece together. Yellow comes up there. They basically, again, my 2 winner picks are the alternates. Right. They literally are just putting the puzzle together. Red puts the puzzle together, which is a different time zone. And it's like, y'all still didn't put 2 pieces together, not 2 pieces.
It was tough. And I mean, hey, I don't consider myself like much of a puzzle person. I don't know that I could have done that any better. Like I might have been that person that's not putting in any of the pieces. So, and now we've seen like, I mean, what's unfortunate for someone like Nicole and now Annie is that we've seen that it's not necessarily like one person that can't pull it out in the end. Multiple people now on that tribe have tried that. And I mean, last week it wasn't really a puzzle, but there was a puzzle in the supply challenge in the beginning. Now we've seen that for some reason, none of the people on that tribe are puzzle people. So I don't know if it's true when it comes to the end of the challenge, if it continues to be puzzles. That will be really unfortunate. I do hope that Blue finds a way next week because I'm with Josh. I would not like to see them go to tribal. A few people that I'm rooting for this season are on that tribe. So that's like another thing. I don't want to see them like be in trouble next week. So I'm hoping that it works out for them.
Here's a crazy behind the scene tidbit. They test us to see if we can do puzzles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we do stuff to see what our capabilities are. And when I got picked, I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on slide puzzles. Okay, how to do slide puzzles. Slide is basically a mathematical thing to do a slide puzzle. I was like, okay, I'm working on math puzzle. When we got to LA and we had 2 weeks in Fiji, they gave us certain types of puzzles that we just learned how to play. The one
like this is in the pregame that they did that.
The pregame, they gave us a bag of puzzle, and they gave us that Sudoku book. It would take me another 3 years to learn how to play Sudoku.
I mean, I helped Danny McRae out a little bit on the challenge.
Danny didn't play Sudoku until he went on Survivor, and he learned how to do Sudoku, which allowed him to win.
And how I'm doing $250,000, yeah,
or something like that. So I was like, man, let me learn how to play Sudoku. Now I can play Sudoku, but we play with the puzzles. So when you're not doing anything, you're playing with the puzzles. When we're doing a pregame and we're just sitting there looking at each other, we're playing or coloring books, or we're doing something that I can't figure out why none of them can't do a puzzle.
If they gave me puzzles in the pregame, I would do them nonstop.
Yeah,
like that.
That's what we did.
Yeah, I would do them nonstop.
I still have them somewhere where we brought them back. I mean, they're like miniatures of puzzles, and we just worked on puzzles. But I don't think that's the problem with the blue team. I think they're ultimately going to self-destruct until it's only like 2 or 3 of them left.
See, I don't think they don't really let them get below 3 people anymore.
Yeah.
Like so on your Abraham on your season, Shannon Ricard got down to 2, but ever since then they haven't let a tribe go less than 3 people.
No. Okay, Xander they started winning, so they got the 3. Yeah, Shannon Ricard got there.
They
that
got
number has to be enough.
No one. It's like no one in the new era has got down below 2.
You're
I think they're on their way. I think Blue's
below 3.
Yeah, they have Blues on the way.
I don't know, because I think if they lose again, they're going to swap, because that's what they did last season with the Green Tribe, and that's what they did in 45 with Lulu.
Would you want to be swapped with them? Oh no. I mean, Jawan might be one. Jawan gets swapped over.
Yeah, I think some people. Yeah, the swap would benefit like roughly half the people in the game, and it would not help roughly half the people in the game. But from from us as viewers, like we need it, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm with that. I mean, I've loved seasons in the past that have gotten down super low. I mean, Palau is one of my favorite seasons, and we talked about it over the summer on Patreon, obviously. But I feel like that can't happen often, or even like more than once.
And it's
have another Stephanie.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, part of why Oolong's story hit different was that first of all, it was the first time it ever happened, but second of all, they started with 9. So by the time they got down to 4, which is where this blue tribe is now, like they had lost 5 times in a row, and then you saw like when they were just like so depleted, like loss after loss, because they especially because they started out as like the big strong tribe, and they too sucked at puzzles, and that was their demise in a bunch of challenges. But now it's like, okay, yes, they're down to 4 people, and that's really hard. There's no wiggle room, whatever. But they've only lost twice. Like, we just got here. This just started. They're down to 4. Meanwhile, Oolong, it was like blow after blow after blow that got them there. So I don't know. I like seeing a tribe get whittled down so small when they start small to begin with. Doesn't really feel that special to me.
No, it's
I'm
not.
Looking at that.
You're so right. But that also goes back to a thought that I've had for a long time, and I know I'm not alone on this. We need to go back to 2 tribes.
Yeah.
I would love for them to go back to 2 tribes. I detest 3.
Is literally anybody other than Jeff and like the powers that be pro 3 tribes? Like, is anybody at this point?
Well, I think they came up with this concept of the new era Survivor and these 3 tribes, and here's the problem. The seasons work. It's worth watching. It's worth the twist. It's worth the turns. And we see, and they can do so much stuff with it. So if it wasn't working, we could probably get back to 2 tribes. I would love to see for 50. I'm not gonna say. I only say it once per more episode. I would like to see 2 tribes in 50, and not 3.
So yeah, on 50, at least 3 tribes of 8 is a lot better than 3 tribes of 6.
Yeah, I was just
I
gonna
will
say, like, I don't mind it so much when there's a few more people, like, because 8 people, that's kind of a lot, especially, like, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, 2 extra people, but in the grand scheme of, like, voting people out and everything, it's actually a lot more.
It is.
So
It is.
I wouldn't mind seeing more 24-person seasons. I mean, that would be better. And it does sound like, I think for 50, like, there's been some, like, preseason pictures showing like a 3-tribe setup. I don't know if that's like people trying to throw us off, or if that's like whatever later in the game and they're showing like in a tribe swap there's now 3 tribes. I don't know, but I have seen some stuff saying that there's probably 3 tribes.
You don't know, and technically you don't know 3 or 2 tribes until the morning of wardrobe.
Oh.
And the morning of wardrobe is when you get your buff and you know what color you're going to be wearing. So that's when you find out what tribe you're going to be on, and you kind of figure out where you're going to be at, and then you got to go do some other stuff. But I mean, as long as it's still working, and it does, it's just that the one thing they did get rid of, and they only did it in 41, was they voted out 2 players on the very first vote, and I was like, that was trash. So
yeah,
I think I said last week that I'm like, sorry, no disrespect to our boy Abraham, but I actually kind of like that from a viewer's point of view, for like just moving it along, because like I would take that pre-merge, like a pre-merge double boot, better than like the thing where that they do post-merge where they split up into 2 groups of 6.
Okay, yeah. If it's between those 2 options, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe don't do it in the premiere. Maybe do it like episode 2 or episode 3 or something. Because I don't.
Josh, you think not the premiere? I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I know it's a little bit of a sore subject for you. Although Abraham, I don't not this is relevant at all. But Abraham, I don't remember your first challenge. Like, were you guys like way last? Or
first of all, first challenge, I killed it.
Sorry, I mean the immunity challenge. The immunity challenge.
I'll give you the video. I killed it.
I remember
we touched that sled. And I swear that sled weighed 300 pounds. Man, we was getting Liana and Evie was on the puzzle. I wasn't even on the puzzle.
Right, but like, what were like, if you think if 2 tribes had won, like, were you guys beating like the green?
Oh no, we still was voting. It was us.
you guys were lost. Okay. I mean,
hey, y'all say yellow was going to. We was going to tribal, because I was like, first of all, you a PhD student, Liana, you in college. How y'all can't do a puzzle? I'm over here exhausted because I done used all my powers to get this sled up here, and I'm like, on these 1, 2, 3 push, you can tell who ain't pushing. And I'm like, hey, man, I don't know what's going on here. But I don't disagree with what you're saying, Josh, in the sense that I would take out that hangnail person or that person in the middle when you do the merge, and that one person is not really a part of a tribe yet. I would just do a double elimination there and be done. When you merge, and y'all done.
Yeah.
Versus having that be that awkward little position where, oh, yeah, you there, but you're not there. So that's where I would put it at.
And I think that's another thing that so I agree with both of you. And I think that that's another thing that we're not alone on. Like, I think that most of the viewers are kind of done, like, playing around with the merge and like trying to do different things. Like, let it be. I'm with you, Abe. Like, let the merge be the merge and kick it old school with that. Like,
I also don't have a problem with like voting off more people pre-merge. You know, like, I think I would rather
Josh tonight. Come on, Josh. You just want to kick everybody off.
Listen, here's the deal: is that like the jury starts with 11 people left in the game, no matter what these days. So like, whether they merge at like 11, 12, 13, like, you know, what I like, yeah, sure, it like maybe making the merge, but not the jury feels like an accomplishment because then you make it to that stage of the game. But I don't know. I think it's better to like speed things up more in the pre-merge and like let the dynamics breathe a little more when there's more time at the end. And especially in the 3-tribe format, this is the perfect time to like send 2 tribes to tribal council, you know, because it's, you know, it just makes sense.
You put your application in again?
Not for this cycle.
I need you to get that in there.
No,
I need you to get that in there.
Work together.
Because I sure could be on the podcast talking shit about you, buddy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be on that. I'm gonna be like, oh, so Josh didn't like that little move.
Hopefully Tori or Bruce or somebody would have
I'll
my
be
back when
texting
that
you on the
happens.
side. So,
I got you.
how you feel about that move now, Josh? I'm looking at your episode. I don't think it worked for you. No, I got you, man. I'll be waiting for you on
I
the
mean, I'm
sideline.
kind of with that, but I do think that if they are going to do that, like, give us 24 players. Like, give us every season.
Yeah, give us something more. If not,
That'll
put Tori
better
and
our
Josh on the
chances.
same tribe.
Yeah,
I want
that
both
also
y'all on the
betters
same
our
tribe.
chances of getting on if they're casting more people. Like, you know, bring
I
out
want them-
Tori and Josh and make it a 2-boot episode. We could hang. We could make it.
Yeah, in the pre-merge, like, yeah, I don't know. I think we can do it. I think like merging at 13 in a season with 18 people, and you're like days wise, you're almost halfway through, but only 5 people have left. Like that feels, the pace feels off to me.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I think, well, Tori, I think it goes back to what we talked about pre-show. We want to develop a relationship with the characters or the castaways. And if
That's
you
all.
speed up a certain part of it, we're still trying to figure out the tribe names and who's on and who do we like and who we don't like in gameplay. So give it some time to marinate and develop. That's all I would say.
See, but I think how you can do that is by having 2 tribes go in a 3-tribe format, because we've gotten to know blue pretty well. We have not really gotten to know red or yellow that well because they haven't lost. You get to know the tribes better when they lose. And in 90-minute episodes, you have the time to like give focus to 2 different tribes who are going, having to vote people off. Like we know blue, we know all of them so much better because they've been losing. And I think I agree with you in that like you want to get more time to get invested in them, but how you do that is by like making sure that like they get more reps.
Okay, Josh.
I think you all are making some fire points. I keep going back and forth on who I agree with.
You see, look,
Like,
I'm gonna see you in the episode.
I agree with Abe, and then Josh says something. I'm like, you're brilliant. Like, I don't know.
I guarantee you. I guarantee Juwan wants some more time out there. He's like, hey man, I got to do what I got to do to stay out here longer. Oh, I pulled up the Palau's. Stephanie's on. She was on Palau.
She was.
Yeah.
That's why we talked about that over the summer too on Patreon. Subscribe, listen, check it out. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
We had a special guest for that one.
It was fun. Actually, you know what? While you're thinking about checking it out, let's go to an ad break because we've got some stuff that we want to show you. So here we go.
Do you have what it takes to outwit, outplay, and outlast? Katie does. Since 2015, she's been handcrafting Survivor treasures for super fans just like you. Hidden immunity idols, she's got them from one world to the Philippines. Every piece is designed and created by Katie herself. Check this out. Katie's brand new tribe emblem coin, a collectible inspired by Survivor All-Stars, a must-have for any superfan. Keychains, oh yeah. Ride along with Keith's legendary tuk-tuk or try your luck with the do or die twist. What is that, the most famous stick in Survivor history? Yes, that stick. Katie doesn't stop at idols. Oh no, she's even bringing in international flavor with an Australian Survivor cookie idol twist. Idol nullifier, safe or not safe, she's got them too. How about something you can actually wear to tribal? Katie's Survivor earrings are hot right now. Want your idols on the go? How about keychains? Take your tribe with you everywhere. And don't forget Katie's most famous Survivor product, Survivor trading cards. Fans love them, and so do the players. With over 500 cards and full stats on the back, you can collect your favorites from every season, including the full jury from Survivor 48. Katie Tedesco Art is the Survivor super fan shop, made by a fan for the fans since 2015. Check it out now on Etsy.com and follow her on Instagram at Katie Tedesco Art.
Katie be putting it down. I got to give her some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those playing cards look awesome.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
don't know
so
where I got
good.
this from. I'm not sure where I got this cup from, but I got a cup. I'm not sure where I got it from.
Okay, that looks so cool.
Where
There's so
did-
much good merch. Honestly, I find some good stuff all over the place. But check out Katie Tedesco. She's got some good stuff. But anyway, so we obviously know that Blue loses this challenge. We've been talking about it. Is that like? Did you guys have a prediction going into the challenge? Like, did you think Blue was gonna lose?
I think I thought that Joanne was going to give Blue the disadvantage and then have him lose. And so I thought they were going to lose that way. But then when he gave the disadvantage to Yellow, I was like, oh, yeah, Blue's good. But then
Blue was good until they touched that puzzle.
they sure were.
They touched that. I mean, they were killing it. I mean, you had the Hookaloid with Jake, man. He just snatching the ladder up out the sand. Sophie did take a hit on that when she jumped. You see that skin was hanging off? Don't worry.
I think it was a Band-Aid, but it sure looked like it. I thought it was skin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Don't worry. Either way, it was nasty.
Yeah, medical got you. They'll hit you with some of that ointment. Oh, time for a funny story. Y'all want to hear a funny story?
Absolutely.
Voch was doing the sandbag challenge, so to see if we get some flint, and he chafed the inside of his legs.
Oh,
Chafed him so bad, the young ladies gave him tampons.
oh my gosh.
we go to the challenge, and he tells medical, "Hey, this is what I did." They was like, "What? No, we." So
Stop.
they had to.
Oh my
They
god.
had
That is
to.
that is rough.
They had
Oh.
to. They had to.
We need
They had
more
to
of
work
those
on that.
stories on there. I feel like.
Yeah, that's it. I almost forgot about that.
Show.
Tiffany, I like to thank Tiffany for helping them out. And when we went to the challenge, they do a medical thing before we go do the challenge to make sure you're doing all right. And he told them, they was like, "Nah, we can't allow you to do that in the challenge." So they gave some proper medical attention.
God, that sounds awful. I'm glad he got some attention. And,
You got some attention, all
sorry
right.
though that he got hurt that bad, that he needed that attention. So, and Abe, so going into this challenge, I know we had made some predictions on the pre-show, and we both said, you know what? I think Red's probably losing this one.
Yeah.
Going into that challenge, were you sticking to that prediction, or did you have a different prediction, like after seeing some of the episode?
Well, I knew Red was going to give the disadvantage to somebody, so I figured whoever without. And here's the beauty of that disadvantage. You don't know what the disadvantage is going to be until Jeff says it. I
Right.
think that's just a great gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So once he tells you what the disadvantage is, now you got to make a decision. And he gave it to Yellow. I still didn't think Yellow had any problems because Yellow's been working together great as a team. And I don't think 20 pounds of coconut was going to change that. What I was surprised about was Blue was blowing through the challenge. I mean, they got through it. They got their ladder. They were good to go. And Red was falling behind. I was like, well, my prediction about to come true because Red can't get their ladder. And then you get up there to the puzzle, and it's like, Blue got this. Blue is killing it. They just trying to figure out what the puzzle got to look like. You got, because I don't know if you see Annie up there looking at the buff on Jake to see what it looks like. And it's like, okay, y'all can't figure it nothing. And then it's like, well, I guess Tori was right. It ain't gonna be Red. So it was a surprise to me that Blue didn't win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they had such a lead. And I think, so Abe, maybe you can tell us, like, do you see what the puzzle is supposed to look like before the challenge?
No.
No, you don't. Oh,
No.
okay.
He'll tell you what the puzzle, what it says, or hold on. He'll tell you it's a puzzle. Here's what your problems come in, because you saw Jake. Jake was exhausted.
Yeah.
So it's going to be only 2 people on the puzzle, because whoever do the most work trying to get you there is exhausted, because you're in the jungle. So the heat of the jungle is basically bearing down on you while you're doing this whole thing. So Jake was gassed. He wasn't going to do no puzzle. And literally Sophie and them was kind of walking around with Alex. They really wasn't touching any pieces. When you go over to the Yellow Tribe, they were moving pieces around. They were picking stuff up. So you got to get the base first. Puzzle making like that, everybody knows get the base first. So why not just walk over there and look at the other puzzle?
I'm surprised Rizgod didn't go do that, because we all know that's his favorite thing.
Yeah, we didn't even know Red was even playing, because the way they did theirs was to show that they were working on the puzzle. And then when they cut, they were finished. And I was like, wait a minute, they wasn't that finished when we saw Blue. So the editing kind of didn't match up on that part. But I truly thought Blue was going to win. I thought Blue and Yellow had it. I thought Red was still going to lose.
Yeah, I thought it was getting set up for, like, oh, look at Jawan. He gave the disadvantage to this other tribe, but
Yeah.
the tribe lost anyway. Like, haha, joke's on you. That's where I thought it was going, until Blue completely, like, didn't do anything at all on the puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, such a shame. One more time. I have to pull up, some people have some shout outs. It says, how can we forget? This podcast is so fire. Abe's takes are fire. We're with you, Abe. I know you and Josh had some differing opinions, but I think y'all came together. And then this person says, the reason I watch you guys every episode is because I feel like y'all are my drinking buddies.
Hey, look, next time we drinking.
That is that's a high honor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, look, be like, am I?
And I love that the word vibe is in there. I can't believe I put in my notes how I thought it was so funny that Nate earlier in the episode, so rewinding like all the way, but Nate was talking about how, like, well, I'm kind of the older person. I don't know if I can really hang with these people. I think I have to say vibe more. I thought that was so good.
I mean, a lot of people a lot of people around that age like talk like that a lot anyway. But then especially when you have someone like Shannon on your tribe too, and Sage also seems like she's got some of that like hippy dippy energy to her as well. So I think that there's
Riz definitely got it.
yeah. So
Riz, you like my daddy? When you hug me, it's like my daddy. I was like, I don't know about that poor guy.
Oh man, yeah. Feel for Nate.
Oh no, it's so good. Yeah. I think Nate will be fine though. I didn't know, I said this on the pre-show, but with Nate, he was pretty quiet this episode other than that funny moment really. But with Nate, like I wasn't sure how much we were even going to see of him. And I still don't really know because again, he was quiet, but I thought he was maybe going to be a bit of a background character. Maybe he would emerge a little bit later. But I'm really loving like the relationship that he's forming. I think that he's like genuine and he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders where he's maybe like very patiently waiting for his right time to actually play the game. But I think he's got, some gameplay in him. So I'm really excited for that. He's kind of like a surprising favorite of mine.
Here's the crazy thing. It's all good until you lose.
Exactly.
And then it just, because if you look at any season, as long as you're winning, and if you go into the merge winning, it's like you don't know what it feels like to lose and have that responsibility going to tribal. And right now, they're not losing. So at the end of the day, they ain't really not worrying about it. And they know they can beat blue and yellow, just not worrying about red. So at the end of the day, if you stay out of tribal until the merge, I think your game is different because you pretty much go into merge fully intact. And then you decimate each other when you get into the merge. So I think Nate is in a good place. And I think Nate and Riz is going to work together. I don't see Nate, Riz, and Savannah working together long periods. And I get that from the thing they put out there for next week. I'm like, oh, because now you petty again. Somebody do something you don't like. We saw where, the bag was accidentally taken. And I don't know why he's using his bag to pick up tree limbs, but oh well, it was accidentally taken. And then we see the cut back was like she was steaming about it. I'm like, but here's the thing about it is all our bags look exactly alike. Now he could have stuck his hand in there and said, hey, that's not my bag. I don't know what he was thinking about.
Wouldn't he have had to empty everything out though?
Not if you put the sticks on top of it. Which he did,
but like wouldn't you notice then that it's like not his? Yeah, I don't know. No,
because all the bags look alike, and I think we kind of put our bags on different trees. Now I will say
either way, I got some questions for Jawan. I feel like the story doesn't exactly add up there.
The shoe thing with Jake, I don't get that.
Okay, let's talk about that. I can't believe that I breezed through that because that's definitely in my notes. I said shoe bandit strikes again. What do we make of this? Like. Somebody please talk about this. Talk about your thoughts. I need to know.
So you get the shit slapped out you. That's
I don't really see the point to it. I feel like he's just trying too hard to make it a thing, to be memorable, to cause chaos.
There will never be another Q skirt. The Q skirt was monumental.
It feels forced to me.
It's aggravating. It's a thing that you're doing in something that doesn't need to be there, that you're going to aggravate the wrong person.
Right.
And they're going to be like, we know you're moving the shoe. And it's like, what's the purpose of, let me tell you something. If you're not drying your shoes, you need some shoes because there's stuff on the ground that could injure you that, I don't know what it's called, but those little sticky things, and you find them in the woods that get on your clothes, but they will hurt. Like so between the beach and getting firewood, we literally have to walk through something like that to get down to the beach. And they're on the same, Riz and them on our beach, but you have to walk through that. So think about it. If I'm looking for my shoes in the middle of the nighttime, you don't move my shoe and I step on these, I'll be mad. So when I get up the next morning, I'll be like, man, who keep moving the shoes? Shoes ain't just moving by themselves. I just think you're right. I'm with you, Josh. You're trying to do something to make yourself known for something, but that goes back to why I was, we was talking about last year, me, you, and Bruce. And I was like, could I choke him out?
You're talking about it was about Rome.
Yeah, about Rome. Jake in the same conversation. Jake in that same conversation. Can I slap this dude and not get kicked out the show? Because I'm like, you ain't moving my screen.
I mean, I heard somebody, I think it was on another podcast, or maybe it was like a comment that I saw somewhere. I can't actually remember who said this, but somebody was like, if you're going to do that, like, put it in someone else's bag or something, or like do something that like makes it seem like, oh, like I'm gonna get these people to turn on each other at least. But I'm so with that. Like there's no real point to it. And even if he was doing it that way, like it's just gonna come out eventually, like who's doing this. And so really no good can come from it. Like I was thinking the exact same thing, Josh, where I'm like, this dude's like trying to be chaotic or like do something different that hasn't been done just for the sake of doing it. I like Jake overall. I'm liking, like, I don't know, all of his comments and his whatever confessionals. I think they're super funny. I like seeing, the strong people beast out in challenges sometimes. But I mean, in terms of what he's doing with the shoes, I'm like, Jake, no.
Because we get 2 pair of shoes. And if you notice, everybody gets in the water. So at some point, 1 pair of shoes is always dry. Or always trying to dry, put it that way. It ain't gonna always be dry because there's plenty of time we had soggy shoes, and I mean it's an irritant that doesn't play into the game. So somebody gonna get him. Somebody gonna be like, "Oh man, you moved my shoe." Okay, well we're gonna have some problems here, buddy. Because Sandra burnt. What's the name? Hat. Now that's a different. That's a different move altogether.
See, that was. I mean, he had it coming because
Russell
that was on day 39 going into the final tribal council. He had it coming.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking it feels more like Russell in the premiere of Samoa, where he's like pouring out his tribe's water bottles and burning people's socks. So it's like, okay, dude, like what are you? You're trying. What is this accomplishing? It wasn't even that much part of the story. It didn't really cause that much chaos. It was more just like an irritating thing. But he was just trying way too hard. And I think Jake doesn't give that desperate trying way too hard energy like Russell Hantz did, but it is like more in that direction than I would like. So. But
here's the craziness in the episode for next week. We see Jake by the deadly snake, and I'm like, okay, so are there deadly things in Fiji? Yes. I'm not sitting by the water. Well, I wouldn't sleep on the beach either. There was like people would sleep on the beach. I'm like, I'm not going out there. We see the snake, and it's like, yeah, you probably want to stay away from the dead. They tell us what's deadly, so we know what's deadly. Don't. Hey, that doesn't mean you remember what's deadly. We just know what's deadly, and it's like you got to, even though it's on an island, even though you're doing stuff. If the film crew is there, it's probably just the way they angled it. I don't think he was in that much danger, but I guarantee that snake ain't gonna be there no more.
Yeah.
They're gonna, because they give out fishing gear, and let me tell you something else. Survivor, stop giving out fishing gear because I ain't seen nobody feasting on fish. And is there fish there? Yes. The deadly coral snake that wasn't a coral snake. Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious what's going to come of that. Like the fact that they showed it in, if he's ever about to get medevacs, like I don't think they would show that in the preview.
No.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like we'll see what happens to the snake. I'm with you though. Like I don't think it was like in any kind of. I don't think Jake was actually in any kind of danger.
I'm saying, like I tell everybody else, they'll let you drink some water on a challenge, but they won't let you drown.
Yeah.
So they'll let you get bit by a snake. I think. I don't know. I'm not. It depends on where you like. There was a eel. There's a deadly eel, but it swims on the shoreline, and sometimes you could get it there because we always go into the water. But the way the island for Ireland was set up, there's a seawall, and the seawall stops the ocean from coming in. So everything is not going to come in there. So I never felt that doesn't say you can't get bit by an ant, by a spider, the deadly bird that almost killed us, a crab or something. You're going to get bit or hurt, or you're going to get hurt on Survivor. You're going to get skinned up, scratched up, but they're not trying to let you get hurt, killed by the poisonous snake. I think it makes for a good cliffhanger for next week to say, where's the snake come from versus when they always showing these snakes. And I'll be like, that snake is not indigenous to that island. So I'm like, I don't know where that snake at. So I think it's good for next week. And I think it's gonna be kind of fun, but I don't think it was any danger.
Could that be a sign of a boring episode?
I don't know. We talked about this last week that like the stuff in the preview, like it's like hardly ever like substantial. So I think it's just, I try not to read into it too much because I never actually.
Well, if they have fire, they could eat the snake, but they ain't got no fire, so they can't eat it.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen people like catch a shark and eat it, but I don't know if we've ever seen someone like catch a snake, and maybe we have. I don't know, but we'll see.
I think Rupert caught.
But that he kept it as a pet. He didn't.
Kept it as a pet. Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right.
think they ate it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that has happened.
Those are different countries.
Yeah,
different-
that was in
the-
Panama. Yeah,
That's
That
all.
the danger is real.
I would not mess around with trying to eat a snake. I would.
Yeah,
not.
no, no dang snakes for me. Like, no,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm not trying to. First of all, even like harmless snakes freak me out.
Oh
if
yeah, no,
I'm
thank you.
going near any random snake that I'm seeing out in Fiji, there's no.
No,
I mean, they had back in the day. They had rugged, people that knew they killed snakes at home for real and ate them. So, I'm sorry, I'm not that. Well, you know what? Brad could probably do it for my season.
Who?
Brad from my season, I literally saw him stop the car and kill a rattlesnake. So
Dang. Okay, Brad.
he almost got me killed by a snake. So no, I'm good.
You're good.
That's a story for a different day because
Glad
that
didn't
was
happen. We're gonna
no that really did happen. I was in Wyoming with him. So long story short, I was helping Brad do something in Wyoming in a pit. We were running the hose for the house. They were building a house out there. And I had to brace myself to get up out the pit. So when I pushed myself up and I looked to the right, there was a snake that looked like a rattlesnake. So me being me, I said, Brad, real soft. Hey, Brad, help me. Brad looked down there. He was like, oh man, that's a snake that looked like a rattlesnake. You all right? I'm like, what? What kind of friend are you on this one? So no. I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was a rattlesnake, but actually it's some other type of snake which defense looked like a rattlesnake. But who's thinking about that when you come up there and you looking at this snake in the face?
Abe, I'm surprised that you even had I'm just saying I would not have enough sense personally to be quiet. I'd be screaming.
Brad. Hey, look, I got in the truck after that. I said it's time to go.
No, I would be out of there. There's no chance. Not messing around with that.
Tori, I'm gonna send you a copy of the picture he sent me this year.
Yeah, please.
For the rattlesnake pit they found on somebody else's property.
Oh, that's gonna be so scary for me even to see the picture, but I do need to see it. So
I know.
send it our way, please. But yeah, I don't think that the snake is gonna be a huge part of the episode. Could make for some good entertainment, but yeah, it's a new fun Jake moment, I guess, that gives him a break from stealing shoes. But so we get to tribal council, and they're talking. Anything stand out from tribal council? Were you thrown off at all? Was it pretty straightforward once they got to tribal council? What do you guys think?
I think I was fooled by the decoy boot of Sophie, just because I feel like it's so. Actually, I don't know. We did just come off of a whole season of the more obvious boot going home every single time. But I was like, no, there's no way. Alex got this idol and he's telling Annie and he's trying to get a little. I think the confessional from Jeremiah where he's like, I'm always the last one to find out. And then Alex is like, oh, let's do something. I want to maybe get rid of Sophie. I think I was just worried for Sophie. And so I was like, oh man, I think it's going to be her. But otherwise, nothing really to report. I
thought Sophie might have been on the chopping block.
I thought she was.
Yeah, I thought they played it well because I was like, you did horrible at the puzzle. And then you had Alex who says, I want to work with you because you're the person I'm looking for. And then he told her he had the idol. So I was like, why would you do that? And then you had Jawan, which I keep messing his name up. But apparently Annie messed their names up too. You had Jawan talking about he didn't want to be the fourth wheel. So I was like, that's a perfect storm. Now, when you vote her out, you definitely gonna either have to vote Jake out or he gonna have to understand because that's gonna be a problem. And then apparently they all on the same page of voting her out. I'm like, one of you need to change your mind because guess who next?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons, even though it's fun to see a strong alliance or what was a strong alliance, it was a little shaky this episode. But it's fun to kind of see those people have to eat each other. But I don't want it to happen yet. That's a story for later in the game. In my opinion, I feel like I need to see another tribe or two go to tribal council before we see those four people have to go at each other. But that should be fun. I'm excited. I think for me, what made it kind of obvious that it was going to be Annie is okay, so they start talking about Sophie. I thought maybe like Sophie's gonna start playing and going against some people because she's gonna catch wind of it. But they kind of just like talked about that for a couple minutes and then they were done and then they cut to tribal basically. Essentially, that's what happened. And I'm like, okay, they definitely didn't spend enough time talking about how it could be Sophie. They just like kind of touched on that and then like we were done with it. So I was pretty certain it was going to be Annie.
That's yeah. I mean, looking back on it, I think it's definitely what you're saying makes sense. And yeah, I think they probably would have built it up more if it were going to be a blindside on Sophie. I think I was just my nervousness for her was projecting. I drafted her in I think 2 drafts or something. Either way, I'm really rooting for her.
Good draft pick.
So who would y'all vote it out? If y'all was out there on the island in that situation, who getting the vote?
See, if I'm Jeremiah, I would see if I could somehow push it to Sophie just because, like, you know, he has to kind of realize that he's on the bottom there, you know? So if they lose again, there's a good chance he's next. But if I'm Jake or Sophie, I'm pushing for Annie. I could, like, honestly, but Alex, though, like, it could have benefited him to get Sophie out because then all of a sudden he's probably closer to everybody on the tribe than they are to himself. I mean, he does risk pissing off Jake, but I don't know. It would if he did that, I would have had to respect it because it would have been a good move.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he didn't because I'm rooting for Sophie.
Well, Jeremiah gets the creepiest laugh of October this episode. So,
oh my God, so true.
They stayed on that shot for so long too.
I was like, "What's Jeremiah? What's going on, guy? You're 39. What's going on? Talk to us." It's crazy because we can look up. I'm like, you're from Canada, man. You're 39. You got that creepy laugh. What's going on, guy?
No, I'm with that. They talked about his and Annie's laughs last week, but yeah, they showed his laugh a couple of times this episode. And Abe, I was thinking the same thing. Like Jeremiah seems like a super likable guy, but the laugh kind of creeped me out a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit. I'll be like, hey man, what's up? You all right? Let me tell you something what they don't show enough of. They don't show nighttime footage.
Yeah, I need to see more of that.
That's when the real craziness start on Survivor. When we out there at night. Because you just don't go to bed. Just because the lights go out, you be like, well, what y'all doing? What we gonna talk about? It's dark. It's like one camera guy out there that sits with us all night.
Oh my God.
That
poor camera guy. I know like in early seasons, I feel like I remember like seasons 1 and 2, like we would see a lot of like what they're talking about at night. And they'd be like laughing and having little camp fun. But that was obviously a really long time ago. And yeah.
Because it was dangerous in Africa. So Muggs was up. They wasn't trying to sleep.
Oh yeah. No,
and I don't think the compound is close to us. Like I think when they were doing different countries, there probably was closer to the actual taping where we're spread out on 3 different islands. So that means you got 3 different people filming us. And back then it was like, okay, if you're in Africa and you're 2 different tribes, you're going to be in proximity to each other. But there's also the danger in Africa was real.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. I just rewatched that season not too long ago, and it's actually so crazy, like how the elements were like right in your face, like all these different animals, all this different. I mean, in the Australian outback too, it was like the weather was crazy too. So like not only was the wildlife crazy, but they had like a flood and like some crazy stuff happened. So I don't know. Those old seasons are no joke for sure. But going back to your original question, Abe, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this too. Like, I want to know who you would vote out. I think Annie's the right move. I mean, I think like, especially in these early days, like it's still so early in the game. I think that you can only benefit from keeping the strongest people around, even though like nobody has been good at puzzles. So like the strength didn't really matter this challenge, but that can only continue to benefit you to keep the stronger people around. Like you can't stand a weak in your tribe anymore. Even if it's somebody that could be good at puzzles or could, have some benefit to the tribe. So I do think Annie was the right choice. I do like what Josh was saying about how like if Alex would have pulled off some sort of move against Sophie, I did not want that to happen personally, but I would have thought that was a cool move. And I was surprised not to hear more about like the rest, like Jeremiah, Annie, and Sophie. I mean, we heard about it from a little bit from Sophie, but I was surprised not to hear more about wanting to split up Jake and Alex. Now, I know Sophie and Jake specifically are super close, but I was surprised that more people like weren't starting to look at Jake and be like, well, we're losing immunities anyway. Like, do we really need his strength? Like, he's kind of calling the shots. He's got this really strong bond with both Sophie and Alex. Like, I don't know. I was surprised not to hear more, maybe push, I guess, specifically from Jeremiah and Annie to try to get him out. But
Well, I thought when Sophie was trying to hide the immunity out of that, we was going to get some of that because now you have Alex that can't vote, and you got so, but you also got to think a couple of steps ahead. So Jeremiah, you stuck. So now if they lose again, you're pretty much on the bottom.
Yeah.
Where Alex, if you're going to vote somebody out and you're concerned that Sophie and Jake's relationship might be stronger than you and Jake's, you still got to vote somebody out. So for me, on the next, if they lose the next challenge, the only two people up for vote is Sophie and Jeremiah. And then you're going to determine which one of them you can work with that's going to be beneficial to you. The only person that's safe is Alex because he got immunities. And you got to convince him either not to play his immunity or somebody might play a shot in the dark. So for me, I would have took a shot of teaming up with who I thought was going to take me to the merge. So that means Annie and Jeremiah and them had to team up with Alex to vote out Sophie. But what they're talking about making their tribe strong, but ain't none of them good at puzzles. So I'm really not sure how that works out.
yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it could have gone any direction, I guess, but I think they did make the right move ultimately. Alex is sitting pretty now, though. I mean, I don't think Alex is going anywhere for a while because he obviously is not at the bottom of his alliance right now. Like, he's probably not next in line anyway, but even if he were, or even if they wanted to get rid of the idol, he's got the idol. So yeah, he's going to be with us for a bit, I think, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's probably just in the best interest of all of them minus Jeremiah to just like stick together if they lose again, because again, if they lose again, they're not going to let them lose again after that. They're going to like do a swap or something. So I think, at this case, just like, okay, I think the strategy, if you're on a tribe that loses once or twice, is just like, okay, make sure you're in the three that will be the final three of that tribe. Because, odds, I don't think you need to be in the top two of that tribe necessarily.
Hey, look, I want to see somebody else get voted out. So, and even if I don't think they would be good at endurance challenge either. Because here's the thing: the longer you go without eating something, the harder it gets. And Jake is a big dude, so he definitely not getting his calories. So it's going to be like, how do the rest of the players, can they perform enough to not exert that much energy? Pulling the ladder up, because if you go back and look at the challenge, Jake was exhausted.
Yeah.
So that means you only got him good for a certain amount of time, and then he's going to be exhausted. And we see coming up next time, it's going to be jumping off the thing and swimming. So that's going to be pretty interesting because swimming is exhausting.
Yeah.
But they can't afford to lose again. I don't think I'm with you, Josh. I don't think they're going to lose next challenge, and we get to see somebody else have to go to tribal council. But it's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. Speaking of which, let's talk predictions for next week and just like future predictions in general. So who do we think is going to tribal next week? Who do we think is getting voted out? Whoever wants to go first, talk to us.
Man, I really hope it's not going to be 2 seasons in a row of the same tribe losing the first 3 challenges. Like, I really, really hope that's not the case. So I'm going to say Red loses next. And we lose Sage. That's what I'm going to say.
That's straight out the headlines. I'm going with Red, and I'm going with Savannah.
Right. Same prediction as this.
I look, Savannah, we both from Atlanta too. It's nothing personal, Savannah. I just think, but I did like when she did a news voice.
That was fun.
That was cute.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
Think, and then she was funny with it too. I was like,
yeah.
Okay. I just think that as long as you're on the island, you start to become irritable. And I think she's irritated easily. So I think and we see in the clip for next week where her and Sage go after it. And I'm like, Is that going to be the way is that how it's going to be? Because what season were we looking at where somebody basically talked herself into being voted out?
That happens a lot.
It does
I know.
happen a lot.
It was the winter season. Oh, I just saw her on a podcast. Wait, I got it. My cheat sheet.
Dang, Abe.
This would look. I used to make these every time, but y'all didn't let me vote this time. So
Oh yeah,
no,
it's the same thing. Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't make y'all one. Andy talked himself and get voted
Oh
out.
yeah.
Wait, why don't I remember this? Which
It was when it was he 47.
Talking to Rachel.
Yeah, he was talking to Rachel and like
Oh.
was just explaining everything that he did, and she was just like, oh shoot, I've actually been underestimating him, and he would actually have a pretty strong case if he made it to the end. And then
And she hit him with the
Annie, as in like the person that got voted out.
oh
Andy. That was a good
I
one.
was like,
You know,
I don't know that.
I didn't know until Rachel was on a podcast and said she was an alternate,
yeah, she was an alternate for 46. Yeah.
and then
I
she
love her.
played in 47.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was good. She was really good.
She is.
That was a good season overall.
Yep.
But so you're gonna ride with Savannah. Savannah's going home.
I just think Savannah's gonna rock some boats, and I think they're gonna realize that she might be a little too much. And I just said Savannah. I don't think Sage is going anywhere.
I can definitely see Savannah rocking some boats, but I don't know. I got the feeling she's gonna be around for a while.
Same, I think. Do I want to be like different than you guys and say Red's not going to tribal? I'm gonna say, I don't know. I guess like if I'm hoping for a tribe other than blue to go to tribal, I think out of red and yellow, it's not that I want red to go to tribal, but I think that they're the weaker of those two tribes. So I guess I'm gonna go with you guys and say red's going, but I'm gonna say somebody else is going.
What?
home. I'm actually gonna say, yeah. So just to be different a little bit, even though I'm saying that the same tribe is going to tribal, I'm gonna say, all right, this is probably like an incorrect, I don't know, thought, but I'm gonna say Shannon, because even though she's with Savannah and she seems like pretty solid, I think that kind of similar to what you're saying about Savannah being irritated, I think that Shannon's being a little like irritating towards
Sharon just made him do the pray over the crab before they eat it.
yeah, I think and I don't think I don't know if Savannah's gonna be in on that vote. Like I think that maybe the people on the bottom, so which is now Jawan and Sage, I think they're gonna try to team up with like one or two other people and try to like kind of like get a little crew together just for this vote maybe, and try to go for Shannon because she's like maybe a little bit of an easy target that they can convince people on. And so yeah, I'm gonna say that.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised that Shannon found her way into like a majority alliance. I definitely thought
Yeah, no.
there were going to be two people on the outside. Would have guessed that Shannon would have been one of them. No disrespect to Shannon. I just,
It's always good to say before you see somebody.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think she's definitely has the potential to be super entertaining, and I'm rooting for that. I just would not have guessed for her to be in like such a solid 4.
Yeah, it's never any disrespect. Anything we say about people on here,
No.
Yeah.
it's all just prediction. But yeah, and so yeah, my prediction has nothing to do with like whether or not I like her. I think she can be, again, like you said, like definitely entertaining. Has some good gameplay in her, I believe. But I'm just gonna say that as a prediction. Again, I don't think it's right. I'm just kind of saying a name right now.
So all three of us picked a different woman on red to be the one going.
4
So.
women on red.
So yeah, hopefully it's not 3 women in a row who go home to start off the season. But
I didn't even think about that.
I know. We'll have to see.
For my babes and buffs. I do want you to do well. I am rooting for women. Sophie is my winner pick, but
by Sophie from Blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need somebody else to lose so we can see what's gonna happen with their trial.
Yep.
Yeah.
See if they really got a bond.
I'd be really happy to see red or yellow lose next week.
I want to see things get shaken up a little bit. And then, well, with the winner pick idea in our mind, I guess the last question I have for all of you is, who are our winner picks right now, and have they changed?
Oh man,
not since an hour and a half ago.
You still have the same ones then, Abe? Remind us who those were, because some people maybe didn't hear.
I had MC and Jason as my
That's
two
right.
winner picks. 1 and 2.
Love it.
Oh man, this is tough. I know I normally don't do winner picks until around the merge, but I mean, I picked Savannah first in every draft that I did, so I think I'm gonna have to go with Savannah. Yeah,
Dang.
not the most original pick, I know, but that's what I'm gonna roll with.
I like it. Yeah, Abe's predictions. If that's correct, Abe, you're really gonna mess Josh's drafts up. So
Yeah, I'm just
to hear that conflict between you two next week if that ends up happening.
I'm just rooting for alternates this year. You know what? Crazy is I can't tell you who our alternates were.
Wait, yeah, I'd be interested to hear who the alternates were for 41. I don't actually know up until like Rachel's season. I don't really know.
Oh wait,
Austin. I know Austin from 45.
Yeah, Austin was an alternate for 45 that got because someone dropped for 45 and he got put on.
Alternate was Tiffany because Tiffany, what's the name?
Yeah, Tiffany replaced Lindsay from 42.
Lindsay.
Yeah,
but she did that in LA. She didn't do that in Fiji.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they have 20 people on site for you?
So
Abraham?
that means the alternates were in the hotel in LA when we got there. That means Lindsay had to be there. So we stayed.
By the way, in your Ponderosa pregame, there was only 18 people.
This was before. So we stayed 3 days in LA.
Yeah.
Everything for us was longer. So we stayed 3 days in LA, and Tiffany was in the hotel when we got to Fiji. So what happens is the last day before we had to go, we had to do another physical. We had to talk to the doctor one last time, but we also had to be COVID tested while we were there.
Yeah.
So Lindsay ends up getting COVID. So if we're there for 3 days, that gives them enough time to fly Tiffany out for the replacement.
Okay.
So Tiffany might have been just the next person on the list, and they didn't fly her because of COVID. But once Lindsay got positive for COVID, she ends up going to 42, and they fly her out. But that makes me kind of wonder as well, who was the replacement on 42 if Lindsay went to 42? So because Tiffany was an original pick. She was called to get picked. She was called to be on the show. So I was just kind of crazy because of the pandemic. But when we got to Ponderosa, everybody that sat around for 2 weeks, we did 2 weeks in the hotel where we walked around the circle, are the same players that we played with. So we saw each other.
But you couldn't.
But it was just the cap. So there was no alternates there.
Not that so if you were alternative and you stayed in the hotel,
but you didn't make it. You didn't make it to Fiji. Okay, got it. Yeah. So I think starting at 43 then is when the alternates went out there, because I'm pretty sure that Kelly from 45 was an alternate for 43. I think I've heard people say that.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. That rings a bell.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be on 41, 42.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't want to be on 41, 42, or 43. It just started getting better at 44. So
I don't know, man. I think 42 is super slept on.
I actually agree with
41 is slept on too. I think 41 gets way too much hate. I think 41, 42. I take 41 and 42 over 43, 44. Like
we didn't. 41. Long story short, we just didn't know what we were getting into. We just didn't. Our expectation was old Survivor, 2 tribes, 30 plus days, and we had no idea of the shot in the dark and all this stuff. And we found out in Fiji 2 days before we actually started filming.
I still think you guys had a pretty good season, but like all things considered. I do. I enjoyed it. I thought Erica was a great winner, and I think there was a lot of really entertaining people.
I mean, Erica's Erica, man. I talked to her, and she was here in San Antonio. We hung out, and I've gone up to Canada and hung out with her. And it's just that, Survivor was just coming back on. It didn't get as much publicity as it does now. Now it's commercials. Jeff is doing, the award shows and all kind of stuff. We got the cafe in Boston now. Well, Survivor was trying to figure out if they were going to survive. And we're part of that survival foundation part. Bryson Wynn and their events were the actual finales for everybody because CBS wasn't doing a finale.
Yeah.
So my first finale type show was in LA at Lauren Ashley Beck reached out to me.
That's cool.
And I ended up going out to LA, and it was season 42's finale.
Oh yeah.
So, and I didn't see
Yeah.
another. I didn't know Bryson Wynn at the time. You know, because I didn't live in Chicago, and I didn't live up because they're up in the New York area and the other thing, and Philly. So I wasn't up there. I'm down in Texas. So, and then I met them. I can't remember what event my first event I attended with them, and then I did a charity thing and met everybody. But it's a crazy community of different people that we get to meet and hang out with, depending on which city that you go in. Like the Big Brother winner for this season, I'm pretty sure I'll see her in December. The players on these other shows, 99 something.
Oh, 99 to beat.
Yeah, 99 to beat the square. We'll meet each other throughout the year somewhere.
That's awesome. And that's what I do love seeing that. Like I love seeing like who's at the events, like who's friends in real life. For me, that's kind of fun to find out about. So that is really cool that you all get to build that awesome community. But anyway, everyone, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. We kind of crushed that episode, and that was a really good second episode. I think we can all agree that we learned a little bit more about the players, saw some cool gameplay, saw an advantage or two. I think that it was super solid, covered a lot of bases. Everybody, feel free to check us out all week long. We have some stuff coming up every single day. So we obviously, we always have Survivor Social, which I sometimes make a guest appearance on, but you can definitely catch a couple of our people on there. Friday, we have some stuff, and then Saturday, there's got something for you. So check us out, join the live, give us your takes in the comments. We love to hear from you. Sometimes you get shout outs. We pull your comment up on the screen, and it's super fun. So guys, thanks for talking to me, to everybody. That was super fun. And
Yeah, always a good time.
Back in the house with Josh. I ain't seen Josh all summer, so welcome back, Josh.
dang,
Thanks.
romance forming. I'm feeling
What?
Don't worry, Tori, you're the real number one.
I'm voting Josh up immediately. So
yeah, we've all got alliances on the side. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
But everybody, thanks again for watching. Tune in every single week. We can't wait to see you, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.